So here we are in Kerbal Space Program. I am going to use MechJeb on this. We are going to land on the moon. It's going to be one small step for Kerbin, one giant leap for Kerbin kind. So the reason I'm going to use MechJeb is to make sure that I am able to go ahead and get all of the fuel efficiency that I can, because I do not have very much fuel or delta V to use this. We're going to raise our apoapsis to 120 kilometers, and then we're going to raise our periapsis to 120, so we'll be orbiting the Earth at a 0 inclination. That's our orbit inclination. This probably means nothing to you. Just watch if you want to see us get to the moon. And we're going to go ahead and lift off. Minor explosion there. Everything's good. Intended for that to happen. Those explosions you hear are the asparagus stages, liquid fuel boosters hitting the ground. As you see, we are rolling over to a 75-degree angle. There goes our last stages. Go ahead and boost our apoapsis to 120 kilometers, and then once we get there, we will cruise until we get to our apoapsis, and we'll go ahead and raise our periapsis after that. It shouldn't take too much delta V. As you see here, we are currently at 2 Gs. We're starting to hit our max Q, which is our max dynamic pressure. I have set to 20,000. As you see, we're engulfed in a plasma ball. This is typically normal. So we're coasting to altitude now. This may be a long video for you. If you want to fast forward and see us land on the moon, you're more than welcome. Doing this as quickly as I can. I don't know how well you'll be able to hear me. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me pretty well. Especially with the engines roaring, I'm not sure exactly how well you'll be able to hear me. Let me change the camera view here so that we have a little better view. As you see, our radiator here. Got a couple of solar panels around. Our landing struts, our fins, which have no use now that we're in no more aerodynamic pressure. Here's our ladder down. Our batteries. So this is our delta V. Okay, so we have achieved that just fine. Now we're going to go ahead and set the moon as our target. We'll go back into the map, and we're going to go ahead and make a new maneuver planner. We're going to do a Hohmann transfer to the moon. So we're going to go ahead, create and execute that. And it's going to take us 827.4 meters per second in delta V. As you see, this stage is going to burn out right before that. So it's going to take a 21-second burn. So we're going to get down to about 11 seconds. So you want to split that in half between minus and plus. So at 11 seconds, we'll start that burn. As you can see, the Milky Way here in the background. And once again, I don't know how well you will be able to hear, especially with the rocket engines blaring. Excuse me for my ignorant speech. Sometimes I can't speak. I'm searching for the moon right now. Just how beautiful is that Milky Way? Once we get to this cutoff here and our liquid fuel is burnt up, we will stage as quickly as possible to continue this burn as accurately as possible as I time warp to our maneuver node here. So now that we have a little time here, we are rotating slightly. It's okay. Using a liquid thumper engine, we have quite a bit of delta V, so we should have plenty to get there and to get back. Parachute on the top, Mach 3 cabin. We have our pilot, our scientist, and our engineer, just in case we need to take any experiments. Obviously a pilot to get us there safely, and maybe we need to repack the parachute at some point. So now what we will do is we're going to go ahead and, well, let's see. First, we should probably warp to the capture of the moon, or else we'll only change our inclination to the Earth, relative to the Earth, because we're still in the Earth's sphere of influence. And where is the moon? There it is. So, now, what we want to do is go ahead and I'm going to change our inclination to 0. We're going to do that after a fixed time of, let's say, 5 seconds. We're going to find our retrograde marker. And yes, I'm cheating a little bit here and having the computer calculate my maneuvers for me. So, if you see here, that has us directly into the center of the moon. So what we're going to do now is change our periapsis. to go ahead and change that to, let's say 25 kilometers. Well, let's go 30 kilometers just to be sure. I'm going to do that, let's say after 5 seconds. We'll create and execute that, and you'll watch this blue line. This is our periapsis. And also watch it here. Perfect. Now we want to change our apoapsis to 30. Well, let's say 30.5, just to be safe. So what we'll do is we'll burn retrograde, which is backwards to the way we're traveling, if you aren't familiar with that. We'll time warp. It's going to take 265.5 meters a second, so a little bit of delta V here. Here we come, close flyby. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, that has us, let's go ahead and turn prograde here. That has us in a orbit for the moon. Let me go ahead and turn us retrograde. Okay, so we want to land, let's pick a target here. And I'm going to say the sunny side of the moon probably is best. I'm going to try to get it right under. So we're going to land there. Go ahead and drop it. Let's hope for a safe landing. Looks like a pretty flat surface here. Try to bleed off delta V here. We're going to try much hovering now. There's our shadow. Come on, easy, nice and easy. Nice and easy does it. Bounce. Bounce. Alright, and that's us. So, let's go ahead and get Heidi Kerman out since she is our scientist. And we are going to EVA her. Let's plant us a flag on the moon. Oh, I guess it would be smart to go ahead and extend our ladder. And that's us. So, welcome to the moon. Jump. Good jumps here. We could get our RCS thrusters going. Doesn't really matter. Go ahead and turn those off. Because, oh, and look at that. Doesn't get too much prettier than that, huh? We have Heidi. And let's see. Let's go ahead and plant a flag. We'll say we came in peace. And our plaque text will be Tennessee is the best. Okay, so let's take a surface sample. We've already got some, obviously. And okay, did not mean to climb. Whoop, better turn our RCS on. Now, let's go ahead and get Heidi back to the command pod, that big bad boy. I know this is going to be mostly cringy if you've stuck with this. Go ahead and grab that. Oh, hey, we're rocking. Rock the boat, don't tip the boat over. Uh-oh. Look at that, no good. Okay, let's go ahead and board. And nobody else is going to get to go on this trip. That sucks. So, let's go ahead. Let's get back into orbit. I would say an orbit of 25 kilometers is probably the best. And let's go ahead and get into that orbit. Go ahead and raise our gear. I guess we can go ahead and raise that ladder. I still don't know if you can hear me at all with that engine, with the rocket engine going. This is probably the most corny thing you've ever seen in your entire life. But we're going to wait until we get to the top of our apoapsis and burn. Now we're going to give it a little push. We're going to need 528 meters a second. And let's hope that we have enough delta V to get us back to Earth. So we're going to set that as, whoop, wrong. Okay, so let's go back here. If I can get it to focus here, it don't matter. Let's go ahead. We may have to cheat just a little bit here, but it's all good. Let's go ahead. And I would not advise anybody to try to use MechJeb if you don't know how to do this on your own. It's a great tool to use, especially when you're building something just to see if it can or will work. This is a little experiment of mine personally, so give me just a moment here, and we're going to want to go ahead. I lost my train of thought there, and we're going to want to return from a moon. We're going to shoot for a 100-kilometer orbit. I'd say that will shoot us into the atmosphere. Let's see what we've got going. Hopefully that'll be a, well, it's not really a free return trajectory, but that is going to definitely put us back into the atmosphere. Let's see, our periapsis is 27. That's pretty steep, but can't complain now, can we? Coming back home. Okay. Go ahead and turn on stability assist. We're going to turn retrograde relevant to our burn. We don't need that. And let's see. Let's go ahead and fast forward here. Who knows? We could completely miss the Earth. That would suck. Doubt that we will. Done this several times. Okay, let's see. We're about halfway. I think it's time to EVA somebody. Go ahead and EVA him. We're just going to go ahead and grab a little EVA report. Great, already got that. We'll reboard. And let's take a look. Okay. Let's see, how much fuel do we have? Not a whole lot. We would like to turn retrograde relevant to where we are. And okay. So okay, yep, that's coming in a little too hot. Let's turn back prograde here. We'll burn really fast. Where's our periapsis? 25,000. Yeah, that'll do. I'm gonna bring it down just a tiny. Whoa, my bad. Nope. Need to go retrograde here. And we'll burn down to. Okay, that should be plenty. So, go back here. And we really need nothing else. Heat shield is intact. We do have some stairs that we don't really need. Okay, so let's go back home. So, re-entering the atmosphere, we'll be at 70,000 meters. I totally apologize if you can't hear me right now. We are coming through the atmosphere at 2 Gs, 3 Gs. We're hitting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we should be backing off. Yeah, there we go, coming back down. Awesome, now we're just cruising. Going twice the speed of sound as of now. Got some beautiful mountains. You can see the atmosphere. And we're coming through the speed of sound. The speed of sound, yes. We just broke that. Coming back home. Everybody's happy. We can go ahead and jettison that heat shield if we want. Well, that didn't work out as planned. Most of the time things never do. We get to about, I don't know, 5,000. We'll go ahead and deploy the chute. We're going to go ahead and have that open at about 1,300. Try to bleed off a little more. I didn't add a drogue chute. It's a game. Don't need to. Practically, you should. Had plenty of fuel to get back. Coming through 4,000. So we're going to be landing in the desert. And go ahead. Do that. It's going to inflate. Throw in our heat shield. Go ahead and turn some lights on for the crew. Bad timing, even though we're at Earth. We do have. Well, that heat shield blew up. Let's go ahead and accelerate time here. I do hope that you were able to hear me. Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. I'm a dork. This is my favorite game. Like I said, I would not advise using this mod until you can successfully do this on your own. trial and error. You're going to kill a lot of Kerbals, these little green guys here. It's okay. They come back after 2 hours of gameplay. And we're back home. Let's recover this vessel. There we go.